Hello everybody and welcome to the very first video on my channel. This is also hopefully the first video in a very long series of flight sim videos. I absolutely love this game. This game is fantastic. I think it looks really well. I think they overall did a really good job with it. I'll point out some flaws here and there that I feel are in the game. However, my opinion doesn't really matter because I don't know the first thing about making a video game, so it's simple criticism, in no way relates to my overall feelings of the game. There's just a couple things that you may notice that I may touch on, but anyway, enough with that. We are going to be flying the A320 today. This is the fly-by-wire version of the A320. They did a great job on this model. It looks great, it flies great. I'll show you the interior of the cabin a little bit, show you some of the things that are unique to this plane that some of the other A320s may not have, or maybe they do. I haven't done a lot of investigation into other types of A320s or other models, so it's very possible that some of these things will be in other models, but let's go ahead and get in the cockpit and we'll take a look around. Okay, so here we are in the cockpit of the A320. Again, this is the fly-by-wire version of the A320. The cockpit overall should look relatively the same depending on, no matter what model you have. Let's go ahead and get some power here. I'll show you some of the things that are significant to this one. Go ahead and turn our external power on and our batteries on. That'll give initial power to the aircraft. Also turn on our nav lights and our wing lights. And we'll go over to the tablet here. I've already requested the jet bridge that's already connected. We'll go ahead and get our our daytime setting configured so that we can see what we're doing. We'll request our flight plan. Today we're going from Jacksonville International to Fort Lauderdale, Hollywood. It should only be about 40 minutes in the air. I'll cut some of the dead space out, but we're going to do some talking while we're mid-flight. So Jacksonville to Fort Lauderdale, about 40 minutes. Our cruising altitude's 390 today, so that's quite high. Our beginning altimeter is going to be 299.5, so we'll go ahead and add that in here. 299.5, got that set up. We need to align our navigation system, so we'll go up here, we'll turn these dials to nav. That's going to start aligning our navigation system. Give the crew some oxygen supply, and now we need to work on our fuel. So we'll go down to here. We're going to go into our flight plan from Simbrief, which I'll talk a bit about Simbrief once we get up in the air and out of here. We're going to put in, we're at 4792 for our block fuel to get to Fort Lauderdale, so we're going to go up to about 4.9 for our block fuel. So we'll go to ground fuel. We're going to change this to 4.9. Give us a little extra just in case we need to detour. And we're refueling the aircraft now. Go ahead and turn up the brightness on our MCDU, which I really should just save that. Let's do that now, actually, while that's doing its thing. We'll save preset over the original. That way that our MCDU is saved at the correct brightness every time we come into the sim. Refueling here. After we refuel, we're going to... Okay, refueling is done, so we're going to go ahead and turn on our seatbelt signs. That way when, as our patrons are coming onto the plane, they sit down, they'll see the seatbelt sign, and we all know how planes work. You don't really put the seatbelt on until you're told, but whatever. They'll get around to that. You'll hear that in the safety briefing. That comes with the fly-by-wire version of this aircraft. Alright, let's start planning our flight out. So we're going to go ahead and request this from Simbrief again. I'll touch on Simbrief a little bit once we get up in the air, but basically all the information that I'm putting into here is coming from Simbrief, and most of it can actually be auto-filled like this. So you'll see our destination and our starting location. Our alternate airport's going to be Orlando. Our flight number, we're in American Airlines 204 today. flight level 390. We're going to go to the flight plan here, and we're going to put in our flight plan. So let me pull that up. Actually, I'll pull it up on the screen for you so you guys can see what we're doing. Why not? Navigraph is another outlet of Simbrief. It's this part of Simbrief. Navigraph is a $10 a month subscription. So you know, it's really how interested in simming are you, and then you know you kind of decide, do I need this part of it? We're doing a final. We're going straight to final from the end of our arrival. Gives us the best route here. So we're going to go up to the top, and we are going to, actually I'll just zoom this out, because really all we need is this information over here. So we're going to be leaving out of KJAX here, out of 26, so we'll click 26. We're going to go ahead and click the Xbox 2 departure. No transition, because our transition's not here for some reason. It would originally be Xbox, but it's not showing up. I have had this problem before. That's okay. We'll go insert, and we are going to go down to KFLL, which is Fort Lauderdale. We'll do our arrival. Coming in on 10 right today, so we'll do 10 right. We're going to be coming in on the QTA2 arrival, so we'll find the QTA2 arrival. There it is. We're also going to be using no VIA today because we're doing a final. We're just going to jump right onto the final, and we're going to be, their transition is going to be premise, which is right here. You can find that right there. So I'm going to go ahead and throw that in, and we'll hit insert. Now we are done with this, so we'll go back up here. Our GPS is aligned, so now we can do the next part. I'm going to go to flight plan. We're going to basically just cycle through the flight plan, make sure that everything looks the way it's supposed to. I can already see that we have a discontinuity here. That's basically the airplane saying I should be going somewhere, but I don't know where I'm going to go at this point in the flight. So what we're basically going to do is we're just going to tell the aircraft, you're going to go straight from the runway 26 right to the next point, which is that saggy point there. So a bit of a bank to the left there. That's perfectly fine. We're going to go ahead and cycle through our flight plan here. Make sure that all of our information is in here and there's no more discontinuities. I would expect there to be one more discontinuity here, and there it is. It's coming up here. It's going to be right when we go to round the corner for our final approach. It doesn't know how to get to Wayner, from Wayner to Blam, which is part of our final, and I'll show you what that looks like on Navigraph, because it actually shows you that there's going to be a discontinuity there just based off of the approach that we've chosen. So this purple line right here, this is your discontinuity right here. So it's not a solid line, it's not part of your route. You're basically taking two routes and you're combining them into one. So we need to go ahead and tell the aircraft where to go, and all we have to do that is just delete the discontinuity, and it will draw a curved line from one point to the other. You see that there. So we'll come around here and into Blam at 3000, hopefully grab our approach and be all set. Now we need to go up to our init page. Actually, we are done fueling, so why don't we get some baggage on board? Let's do some baggage. So we are going to go ahead and request our baggage truck, and we'll do our catering truck, and I will move to the outside view so you guys can see those start to do their work. Alright, so we got that taken care of. We are back in the cockpit here, and we have put in our V1, our V rotate, and our V2 speeds here. V1's kind of the decision making. Are we taking off? Are we not? V2, rotate. We are going to be rotating the aircraft in an upwards direction, and V2 is kind of the initial climb speed, I guess you could say. Our flaps 1 here, that's going to be our departure. I believe that's standard across all A320s. I could be wrong. It could be an airline specific thing. I will just come out and say I'm not an airline pilot. I have never flown an aircraft before. I would love to fly a plane at some point. It is on my bucket list of things to do. So I am learning all of this stuff off the internet. So if I'm doing anything wrong, please, please, please let me know, because I will be happy to change it for future videos. I want to make sure I'm being as realistic as possible while still having fun, because if I'm not having fun, you guys are not having fun. So that is my ultimate goal. Alright, so we've got our MCDU taken care of. I don't believe we have a restriction as far as the first couple points, which we don't. So we are actually going to put in our transition altitude for our beginning climb, which is 18. Couple things need to happen while we take off. At 10,000 feet, your landing lights and your nose light go off, and at 18,000 feet, you set your altimeter, which is this button up here, to standard. So we'll make sure that those are taken care of. We are still getting catering and our baggage, so that's good. Once those are all done, we will start the push out, and we will start in sequence. Let's go ahead and move up to the top. We'll get a couple things ready to go for that process. We'll start our APU, turn on our fuel pumps, and we will be good to go there. No issues. We could do some engine testing while we're up here. Okay. APU's engine test is good. Fire. Engine test. You got engine 2's is all good. And engine 1's is good to go. Alright, perfect. We got that taken care of. APU is starting up here. So we will wait for that to spool up. Alrighty, APU is all set. That is on. We will... Let's take a look at the overhead panel here, see if there's anything else we can turn on right now. I don't think so. We are actually... We'll throw on the APU bleed because we're going to be pushing out here very, very shortly. We have just some baggage still being loaded. The catering truck is still here. So we will wait for them to be done, and we'll be back when they are all set. Alright, so the catering truck and the baggage are pulling away from us now, so we are almost ready. Once we get the baggage conveyor belt out of the way, we'll go ahead and request pushback, as well as disconnect the jetway. Another thing I'll make clear to you right now is I don't use in-game ATC. It's just not feasible for recording. It's very loud and obnoxious. Being that I have a traffic injector and there's more airplanes in the air and on the ground than normal, so it does pick up that traffic, which is cool for anyone who's looking for a hardcore sim, and I may turn it on when I'm not recording, but in terms of recording, it's just not feasible. So we got him pulling away. We're going to close the hatch door here, and once that is closed and locked, we will go ahead and request our initial pushback, which we can go into the cabin and actually pre-align for that. Alrighty, back in the cabin here. So we're going to go up to a plugin that I love ever so much. It's the pushback, just kind of like a pushback assist, better pushback I think is what it's called. I'll link it down in the description for anybody who is interested in using it. We're going to go ahead and pre-plan our pushback here. We'll get that taken care of. We are going to be, let me check the map here, what runway we're coming out of, and what direction we need to be facing to taxi. Okay, yep, we're going to be going out of 26, so we need to go push back tail to the right. So we'll come back here, and we will set up our line. We'll have him push us right out onto the taxiway here. Come on. Oh boy. Work with me. Work with me. I don't really want that to be there. Let's not do that. Okay. Let's try this again. Nope, it's still there. Listen, pal. I don't want you there, buddy. Oh, 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 oh. Nope. There. I want it. What the? Alright, whatever. We're gonna run it. We're good. We're good. Let's go ahead and request some pushback. We are gonna have to disconnect the jetway now. There it goes. Did it automatically. Perfect. He's gonna request that we release the parking brake here any second. So once he does that, we'll go ahead and release the parking brake for him. And we'll begin our pushback and start in sequence. We will wait for his direction. They're just installing the bypass pin into the front tire. Front gear, landing gear.
Okay, sir. The bypass pin is installed. All doors and hatches closed.
There we go.
And all ground equipment is
They're going to ask to lift the aircraft.
The parking brakes are set. You may lift.
Parking brake set. Lifting the aircraft.
We will raise an elevation ever so slightly, and then he's going to request that we turn off the parking brake.
Okay, cleared for push start. Please release parking brake.
We'll go ahead and release the parking brake. They will start to push us back, and we're going to start in sequence now.
Start the engines in sequence.
It will start in
Starting with engine 2. And let's take an outside view look, shall we? We are just waiting for the available here on the panel, which usually comes around, I've noticed, about 19.5. So once we get that, we'll go ahead and start engine 1. I don't know why. I've seen that pretty common amongst aircraft. They start engine 2 and then they start engine 1. Maybe somebody could fill me in on why. We'll go ahead and start engine 1. Why that's a thing, I'm not really sure. It's quite interesting to me though. Let's take an outside look.
Pushback completed. Please set your parking brake.
Alright, so we have been told that pushback's completed. We'll go back into the cabin here, and we're going to reset our parking brake for the guys so that they can disconnect, and we'll wait for a veil before we start to taxi. Lower us down to the ground.
You may disconnect.
Roger. Good engine start. Clear to disconnect. See you at the side. Have a good flight.
Holding position waiting for the visual. Thank you and goodbye.
Alrighty, so we are well on our way here now. We've got available on both engines, so we will turn that knob back to standard, and let's set our takeoff config. We're gonna arm our speed brakes. We'll bring flaps down to the 1 position. Air brakes are max. And we will taxi to the runway. Alright, we're going to go ahead and take a left turn here, and we will hold short of the runway. At this point, we'd be requesting from ATC that we are ready to go, and they would give us direction. Again, we don't have an ATC today, air traffic control, to tell us that stuff, so we're just going to do the stuff that we need to do within the aircraft in order to get ready for takeoff. One of the things is we need to all call the cabin, and then we're going to go down and we're going to test our takeoff configuration, make sure we get no warning lights or anything like that. We're good to go there. So now we will go ahead and we're going to turn on our beacon, which actually should have been on a little bit ago, and as well as our taxi lights. So we'll go ahead and turn on our taxi lights and our landing lights, and our strobe will go on, and we will also turn our transponder to auto and our TCAS to TARA. And there you go, prepare for takeoff. Let's get out onto the runway and we will take off.
Once again, we'd like to welcome you on board. Your safety is our top
We'll listen to the safety briefing actually here. We should have done this at the gate. We'll listen to it right before we take off.
You can follow along with the safety information card in your seat back pocket. Please fasten your seatbelt and insert the flat metal edge into the buckle and pull on the straps tight. The release should lift the top. At all times. Your life vest is in a pouch under your seat. If instructed by the crew, tear open the pouch, remove the vest, and pull it over your head. Wrap the strap around your waist. Secure the buckle and pull the straps tight. As you exit the aircraft, replace the vest by pulling down firmly on the red tab or blowing into the tubes on both sides. A locator light on the shoulder will turn on automatically in water, and remember, never place your vest inside the aircraft. This Airbus A320 has 8 emergency exits, 2 doors in the front, 4 window exits over the wings, and 2 doors in the back. Each door is equipped with an evacuation slide that can be detached from the aircraft and used as a ramp. All exits are clearly marked with a sign overhead. If necessary, floor level lighting will illuminate the aisle top and find the exit. Please take a moment now to look at your closest sector and remember it may be behind you. If there is a change in cabin pressure, 4 oxygen masks will drop from overhead. Firmly pull the mask towards you to start the flow of oxygen. Place the mask over your nose and mouth, pull the elastic bands around your head, and tighten the straps on both sides. Even though the bag may not inflate, oxygen will be flowing. Be sure to put your mask on first before helping others, and we'll let you know when it's no longer needed. We'll be passing through the cabin to make sure we are ready for departure. You can help us by making sure your seatbelt is fastened, your seat back is up, or your ticket looks good, and all your items are put away. If you have any questions about the safety features of this aircraft, please don't hesitate to ask. Looking to engage electronic cigarettes is never allowed on any flight. Tampering with the statement or destroying smoke detectors and access questions is a federal offense and can result in a fine. For your convenience, this aircraft has 3 restrooms, one at the front of the cabin and 2 in the back, and each is equipped with an empty change table. We'll be adjusting the main cabin lights for departure.
Okay, thank you to the flight attendants for that. No smoking on the aircraft. Absolutely no smoking. I don't know why, but whatever. I'm just kidding, I know why. Alright. Let's get out on the runway here and let's get out of here. Psych, we have traffic on the runway. A Southwest flight just came in, so we'll wait for them to vacate the runway and then we'll get out there. Make sure nobody's coming in from our right. See anybody? Alright, now that they've vacated the runway, let's get out on the runway and get going. Alright, here we are. We're on the runway and we are ready for takeoff. So we will bring the engines up, wait for them to stabilize. Stabilize, we'll go to toga, release the brake, and we're off. Just a little bit of nose pressure Keep that center line. You see, if you look down at the bottom middle here, we got that blue marker, that's V1. Purple one is V2. We'll pull back, and we are rotating. Off the air, off the ground. Positive rate of climb, gears going up. We'll go ahead and start our bank to the left.
Traffic.
We have traffic yelling at us here. Where is he? Oh, there he is. Look at that. Yeah, we'll talk about that coming up in a little while here. Once we can get to our cruising altitude, I'll have that conversation with you of why that just happened. We are climbing. I climb the aircraft to about 10,000 feet, and then I will let the plane take over from there. So we'll get that nose down, get some airspeed. I'll turn on the autopilot at 10,000 feet, and we'll let the plane take over from there. But I mean, it's a just stunning view here. Absolutely stunning. Beautiful game. We're hitting about 7,800 feet here. We'll come back to the right just a touch, and I am still hand flying the airplane. Right at 10,000. Landing lights are coming off. Autopilot's going on, and nose lights coming off. And the plane will take over from there. We'll hit our autopilot. Plane's gonna line us up exactly where it wants to be. We'll take our landing lights off. Our nose light will go to the off position, and our APU, which should have been off a long time ago, will go off as well. I miss things, guys. It happens. I didn't go to school for this stuff. I haven't learned it yet. I want to. I have not yet. It is what it is. We'll get through it together. So we got pretty much a coastal route here. We'll be hugging the eastern seaboard of Florida for quite a bit of time. Pretty much all the way down until the end, when we cut back into Florida and come around to our landing runway. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight. We'll be back at 1,800 feet. Alright, welcome back. We're approaching 16,000 feet here. So we just got 2,000 feet more and we will turn off our altimeter. We'll change it to standard. Something that I wanted to bring up. Oh, traffic. Let's talk about traffic. So traffic in this game, that plane that you saw on the runway and the plane you saw in the air is actually from a traffic injector that I use. The company that puts it on is FlyByWire, the same company that does my plane here. Has that traffic injector right in their website and their download kind of launch application. So I highly recommend using their products. I love their products. The reason that that plane was coming in as we were taking off and that plane was on the runway when we were getting ready to take off is that it doesn't sync up with your location in the game, and it doesn't give you priority. So if I had the ATC on, I probably would have seen that there was an aircraft coming in to land at that time. I didn't have it up again because with the amount of traffic that it injects into the game, it would be overwhelming to you, the viewer, and me, the person who is trying to pay attention to what I'm doing, to have to listen to the millions of airplanes. I know it's more realistic, but in terms of a recording scenario, it just doesn't make sense to do it that way, so I'm not going to. Traffic injector is from them. They do have a modeler, which is kind of cool because it'll bring in real models from real aircraft into your game so that your planes don't all look generic and empty. We're hitting 1800 here, so we'll go ahead or 18,000. We'll go to standard, and we'll hit our flight level 390 and continue our climb. Not 490, 390. Continue our climb upward to our cruising altitude. Yeah, so FlyByWire. It's a great software. I really think the company's done a really good job. I'm not sponsored by them or anything. I just feel that them as a developer, they deserve the credit where credit is due for the products that they've made that have been great. They're working on an A380 right now, which is, if you don't know, it's the similar airplane to the Boeing 747, except it's made by Airbus. So they're working on an A380. Can't wait for that to come out. It's a 4-engine airplane. It's going to be fun to fly once it comes out. Has not come out yet, so once that does, we'll do some content on that. For now, let's sit back, we'll enjoy the views, and we'll be back at our cruising altitude. I'm going to interrupt your sightseeing here for a minute because I just wanted to point out another key attention to detail thing that FlyByWire took care of for us. You can see here all of this gunk on the window that you would typically normally see. We all know that they don't go around cleaning all the windows of the aircraft all the time, or even the outside panel, because I believe most aircraft windows are 2 panels. But just the attention to detail, like the scrapes and stuff like that from people writing on the windows, or maybe stuff hitting the windows from outside. It's just another level of detail that we don't always see in sim games like this. So they've done a pretty good job on that, and yeah. So just another reason I think Fly-by-Wire deserves a bunch of credit. They did a great job on this airplane. Alrighty, welcome back. So we are getting up to top of the climb here. So we are coming up. We got another 1,000 feet. We'll be there at our cruising altitude. I think now is a good time for me to tell you a little bit about myself. Also give you guys some information on what I'm thinking for this channel and where we're headed. And so kind of some of the equipment that I'm using and things of that nature. So we will go ahead and do that. So let's look at it. We're going really slow. I'm noticing that on the left side here. Hopefully that'll change once we level out the aircraft. I'm not sure what's going on with that. We've still got some good engine pressure and stuff, so I don't think it has to do with the engine at all. Hopefully we level out here, because we are getting pretty close to danger levels. Actually, that could have to do with where we are in the air. You know what? That's why we hit manage speed mode at one point. So it was using a speed that I gave it, which is not true because I didn't give it one. So that's why we were so low. Alright.
We've just reached our cruising altitude for the flight. As it begins to settle in, I do want to remind you to please keep your feet and elbows clear from the aisle, as the flight attendants will be coming through the cabin with galley carts shortly. Also, one more reminder to please refrain from congregating to the front galley where the flight deck door is located. Thank you.
Thank you. So we got that announcement. The seatbelt signs go off. If you need to use the restroom, now's the time. Just don't block the flight attendants while they bring you your Coke and pretzels. That's about all you're getting for this flight. Very short flight. So alright, let's get back to it. So we're at a cruising altitude. A couple things. I plan to kind of make this channel, it's going to be some flight sim stuff. It's going to be maybe some trucking sim stuff. I want to do some GTA RP stuff. I just have to find a community that I'm comfortable in before we do some of that. If you guys have any other games that you'd like to see, let me know. I can't promise anything, and I'm not going to promise anything will be included. However, I'll do my best to include the games that I want to play, because I'm not going to play something I don't want to play. That doesn't make sense. Some of the other things is we need some stuff to do while we're mid-flight here, so I was thinking maybe a Q&A. If you guys want to ask me questions, I'd be happy to answer them. They can be about anything, as long as they're appropriate, whatever, and they don't get me banned from YouTube. I'd be happy to answer them. Maybe I'll even give you a shout out if I choose your question to answer. We can do some of that mid-flight. And then just give me some other ideas. What do you want me to do while we're up in the air? What can I do to better entertain? I'm happy to do it. Some of the things that I'm using in my flight sim setup is I use Simbrief, very good program. I love Simbrief. It basically plans out your flight for you, gives you a flight plan, and then you can convert that into Navigraph, which is part of Simbrief, and then at that point you'll be able to see your route. And so this doesn't just come to me. I have to actually build this in Simbrief, and then I can import it into here, and then we can see what's going on. Usually it doesn't give you a final, so you just throw a final in there, whatever you would like, whatever works best for you. I might get into some VATSIM stuff. I'm really interested in VATSIM. I'm not there yet as terms of the game, but that is a possibility. So, use Simbrief, Navigraph, again the fly-by-wire plane and the traffic injector. I'll link all of that stuff in the comments, just in case, or in the description, just in case anybody's interested. I think that's really it. Let's take a look around the cockpit. I haven't gotten a chance to show you some of the significant stuff in the cockpit yet. Like some of the attention to detail things. For example, this pencil holder here is pretty significant. You see all the marks and pencil scrapes and stuff. I believe that's what it is. If it's not, let me know. That's what it looks like. The guy that makes all the liveries that I have for the Neo, or the A320 from FlyByWire, he puts a coffee cup significant to the airliner in there. So he's pretty good. I'll link his page on sim.to, whatever that website is. I'll link his information because he makes some pretty good skins. The other thing is there's a lot of buttons in here that you don't have to use. You don't have to really touch. Like, God, I don't even know if those are buttons or what they do, but there's a bunch of them. Never have to touch any of those. Really, it's just the main panel up here and some of the stuff down here. That's about it. Let's go ahead and put in our destination info because it's asking us for that. So we'll go to the perf page, go over 1, 2, come back over here. We're going to be going altimeter 29er, 9 or 4, so we'll put that in there. And our temperature is going to be 27 degrees Celsius. 2994 and 27. I know you can change it to Fahrenheit. That's what I use where I live. I just haven't done it yet. Our winds are 110 at 8 knots. And we'll go back into Navigraph to get our minimum for our arrival. Open the landing chart here, zoom in, and it looks like it's going to be 264. 264 into here. All done. Alright, great. So we need to be at 26,000 feet at Colat, which we are getting there. We have got a couple more points to reach before we get there. So once we start our descent, we will be back. Alright, time to start our descent. We're a little late on the ball here for our descent, but that's okay. We'll get down there, I'm sure. So we'll go ahead and start the descent. We're going to turn our seatbelt signs on, get everyone back to their seats, and we'll continue our descent downward. We're dropping down to 26 originally, and we'll keep going down from there.
From the flight deck, ladies and gentlemen, as you may have noticed, we have begun our initial descent down to our destination. Now would be a good time to wrap up any business you need to take care of as we prepare for our approach. If you are up, once you return to your seat, we ask that you remain seated until the aircraft arrives safely at the gate. Flight attendants, please prepare the cabin for arrival.
And there you go. There's the captain, which technically is me, but that's okay. We got our alert that we are coming down, and everyone needs to find their ways back to their seat. So here we go. We are coming down in elevation. It's all good. Good to go. And we should be on course to do what we need to do. Okay. We are coming down. Where are we at? We're at 32. We need to get a little bit farther down, a little bit faster, but we will get there. Slowly but surely, we will get there. Alright, let's go ahead and jump forward here. We're going to set our actual glide slope intercept altitude, which we can get from Navigraph. If we go into open the chart here, our glide slope is going to be intercepted at 1800 at Lorry. So we'll go ahead and put in 1800 here. Go all the way down to 1800. 1800. 1800. Perfect. We'll set managed, and it'll only drop us down chunks at a time depending on what our decline is supposed to be, so that'll work out for us. Okay, where are we at? 23. We need to assist our plane here, so let's go increase that drop. Oh shit, wrong button. Way to go, Greg. Dummy. Okay. Let's increase our descent, because we need to get quite a bit of way down to the ground. We are currently at 22,000 feet. We need to be at 13 by this marker here, so we're not going to make that. So we should be good there. Coming down, coming down, coming down. Coming down to our flight level. Anywho, so when we come in, I'm gonna try something. Oh, I get to share this with you actually. So this is the 5th time I've recorded this video, and it went terribly the first time. First time was actually probably the best recording of the video, but what ended up happening was I recorded a different screen because I didn't have OBS recording this screen. I had it recording this application, and what I'm doing, like this game, and what I'm doing is I have some menus over on my other side, my other screen, that are part of this game. Like I've popped out some of the menus to keep them out of your field of view so that you don't have to look at them, because let's be honest, you want to look at the plane in the game. So I'm controlling all of those on my left monitor, but what was happening was every time I would go over and touch them, the stream or the recording would start capturing a blank screen with just that menu on it. And it happened like, I don't know, for half of my video was just that screen. Alright, so we're hitting 1800 here, so or 18,000, we need to go back up, and we'll reset this to, I want to say it was 29904, yep. So we'll go ahead and set this to 29904 as we continue our descent. Down to, what is that, 11,000? Yeah, so we need to keep going down. But yeah, so it was capturing, so that was the issue with the first recording. My second recording, what happened? My second recording and third recording, I want to say it crashed on me. Is that when it crashed? I think so. Yeah, my second and third recording, the game crashed on me mid-recording. So I was like, what the hell? This sucks. And I was like, oh, I can just record the back end. But I was like, you know what? Let's just, we'll redo the whole thing. It's a fun flight anyways. And, I mean, I love the game to fly. So let's just, we'll do it from scratch. So, last night, we're at our 4th recording. We record the whole thing. It's perfect, or so I thought. I get into DaVinci Resolve, and I start editing it, and I'm like, my voice and the game volume are on the same audio clip, so I can't edit just one of them to be louder than the other. So the game was overpowering my volume like so bad, and I couldn't hear myself talk. I've tried a couple different voice things, and I don't pay for the version of DaVinci Resolve that has the voice enhancer. So long story short, none of that worked, and I was like, well shit, I have to scrap this one too. So here I am. I've got OBS recording my voice and my game on 2 separate voice clips, so I can edit just the volume of those 2 to get it perfect. I finally think that we have it, so if this is, you're hearing it and I just said 5th, then we've done it, but if I've done 6th, 7th, and 8th, then I've failed yet again. So hopefully we're done, and this is going to be the final time. We shall see what happens. Looks like we are more on track now than we were before. So at 10,000 we need to go ahead and turn on our landing lights again and our nose light to take off, and we'll actually keep on a managed decline, because we need to get down to 3,000 feet by 3,000 feet by Balaam. So we'll add some speed brakes here. Seem to be having some issues with the speed, so we'll go ahead and add some speed brakes to her, and should be good to go as we keep coming down. We'll just keep that speed right in that purple area where it wants it, and we are coming down to our next level is 3,000, which is just before we intercept our glide slope. We're actually going to get a good view of the airport on our left side, so that'll be fun and good there. So yeah, recording this was a catastrophe. If you're getting to watch it, that means that I've figured it out, or I've just said screw it and I put out crap. So hopefully I don't do that. You know, I'm thinking back on this process and I'm like, why the hell do I want to do this to myself? But that's okay. I want to do it because I want to do it, not because I expect to get famous or anything like that, because I definitely don't. I'm just looking to add a little extra excitement into my life. So we're at 7,000. We're again dropping down to 3,000. That's our next point here, and we have a couple points to get there. It actually looks like our next 2 points in front of us is where we need to be at that 3,000. So we'll go ahead and put it back into managed altitude mode once we get down to about 4,000. As long as we're at that 3,000 threshold by Blam, we'll be good to go. Give you a view here off of the left hand side. We are on the outside runway there. That's our runway, and our concourse where we're going to be parking is right there. So that's a cool view for you guys to be able to see. And we need 3,000 by, I want to say, yeah, Blam over here. So we're coming down at a good rate. Actually, I'm comfortable with putting us back onto managed altitude mode to bring us down to that 3,000 at this point. Should be okay. And the airplane should take over. We'll go ahead and start our localizer, see if we can capture our localizer, and then we'll arm our approach, which should bring us right down into the airport by itself. I'm not going to do any sort of auto landing. I'll do the landing myself. That's why we're here. So I'll go ahead and take care of that. And we're coming down to our 3,000 threshold now. We should turn on the LS button so we can see our ILS glide slope here. And it is yelling at us to be quite a bit lower, but I think the plane is going to take care of it for us. So, hopefully. If not, we have other issues, but we'll see. Oh, here it comes. Yep. You can see right here this diamond is coming up to where we need to be, so that's good. Grab our localizer and grab our approach, our glide slope, and be good to go. We're gonna hard bank to the left here. So we'll start that bank here any second now. And what a scenery. Look at that. Beautiful game. Beautiful game. I love playing this game. It's just a fun, overall fun game to play. And it looks incredible. Here we go. We're gonna bank to the side. It's a sharp bank. That's okay. It's what it wants us to do, so that's what we're doing. Just an incredible game. Let's we'll add some flaps here. We're getting to flaps point here, so go ahead and add some flaps. We're gonna arm our speed brakes here and our auto brakes. We're gonna go low on the auto brakes, and we're just waiting for that localizer to capture. Once that captures, we'll arm our approach, and very shortly after that we'll fly the airplane. What I am going to do now, let's see, hopefully this opens on the correct, alright it did, is I'm going to attempt at recording this, so we'll see kind of how that goes. Hopefully it goes okay, because the replay yesterday looked really good, so we'll see how that goes. We'll start it when we get lined up. And then we'll replay it when we get to our gate. So we'll see how that goes. We are pulling our engines back up. Let's go to full flaps. Flaps are full, and we are descending as long as we can collect this. If not, I'll have to manually descend, which I can do. It's not terribly difficult, but why not let the computer do it? It knows more than I do, doesn't it? Alright, localizer's green, it's captured. We'll arm our approach. And we've already captured our glide slope. Look at that. Here we go. We're coming in. We're in good shape now. Plane's gonna lower us right down to the ground. At 2,500 feet, we'll put down our gear. Which we are coming up on 2,500 feet here very shortly. So as we drop in to 2,500 feet, our gear will go down once we get the 2,500 call out. There it is, gear down.
Flight attendants, please prepare for landing.
Gear's coming down. Flight attendants prepare for the landing.
Vertical speed.
What's the problem? No, managed. Don't do this to me now. Go back to approach. Oh boy. What happened? We might have to hand fly this baby in. We'll see what we can do. We'll see if we can capture the glide slope again. We lost it. Oh, there it goes. Okay. I don't know what happened. That was weird. It moved us into another mode. But we were able to capture the glide slope again, so it'll bring us back down to where we need to be. On course for landing. And again, at right about 500, I'll take over. And fly the airplane into the airport. And we've got our checklist here. Landing gears down, signs are on, cabins have been called, and our spoilers are armed, flaps are at full. So we are good to go. Coming in. Ever so slowly, we are coming into the airport. Pretty soon I'm going to have a third monitor that's going to be like a TV. So right now my controls are kind of off to the right, so I have to use my controls on the right and then look at my monitor here on the left. So pretty soon I'm going to have a hopefully a third monitor. This is a 1000 call out. Third monitor, so I can actually look at the screen in front of me while I'm landing the plane. That would be super duper. 900. Oh, please don't start lagging. That would be my luck, wouldn't it? Really laggy landing. Come on. Catch up. There it goes. Okay. We're good. Let's see. Coming in. 700. 200 feet. It's our aircraft.
Climb now.
What are you climbing for? I don't want to climb. We don't need to climb. We're good. Quiet, you. We're not climbing. Get out of here.
500.
500 call out. It's our aircraft. I'm not climbing. Get lost. Get lost, buddy boy.
400. 100 above.
Alright. Bring her in
300.
here. Nice and slow. Coming in.
Minimum.
Is our minimums?
200.
I'm gonna buzz these trees real quick. Perfect. Coming in. Can't see
100.
a damn thing on the runway because it's so bright.
50.
We got the 100
40,
call out.
30,
We're gonna be real
20.
short, guys.
Retard.
Retard. And that was a little rough. No bounce though. That's good. No bounce. We are on rollout. And we're gonna exit right here. Come back up to idle speed. We'll go to the left here. Get off the runway here. Alright, let's clean up the plane. Throw our speed brakes up, our flaps up. Our gear is down. We got 3 green on the gear. We'll go ahead and turn to the left here. Get to our gate, and I apologize, I did not start the recording, even though I have it up on my screen, so we won't get a recording. Maybe I'll pull it from the other video and attach it to the end. I could do that actually, and just turn the volume down. Maybe we'll do that. Yeah, we'll do that, because that was a pretty similar landing. Oh, look at that. We had another plane coming in right below us. Right behind us. That's pretty cool. They might just be doing a low pass, actually. No, landing gear's down. That is so cool. Spirit flight. So we are going to be Concourse E, is where we're parking today. So we'll get over there. We'll start our breakdown of the aircraft. It's looks like we have another airplane taxiing, so we'll get over there. Something tells me that aircraft's not going to hold short, so let's figure out where that aircraft is in reference to us, and we will change our direction based off of them. We can't really. Well, actually, I guess we can. We'll go around to the left here. Yeah, that'll work. Follow this left side here. There's another airplane taking off. It's quite laggy here. I don't know why. It wasn't like this yesterday when I was recording it. That's okay. We'll work with it. We'll work with what we got, people. Okay? God. And we are taxiing. Taxiing to the gate. So like I said, I do plan to do some more flight sim content. Leave me destinations and stuff down in the comments. I'm happy to do some routes. If you guys have a takeoff airport and a landing airport, maybe I'll throw those up on the screen. Give you guys a quick shout out for each flight. Happy to do that type of stuff. And we're gonna pull right into that gate there. But I'm gonna do some more of this. We'll do some other stuff. I have some other ideas for the channel, so happy to take care of you guys as you're watching. I'm happy to do that. So we'll go ahead and line ourselves up here. And we'll come in. Keep going. Stop. Just keep swimming. And that's good. Parking brakes on. And engines down. We have external power, we do, so we don't have to worry about the APU. Engines off. Engines off, it just switched over to external power. And that is going to do it today, folks. Thank you so much for joining me on this adventure. We're going to do a lot more of this in the future. Go ahead and leave a comment. Let me know if you liked this content. I'm happy to do it. I enjoy it. It's something that I love to do. We'll do more of it in the future, and we'll see you next time. Take care.